True Strike, a trap spell that basically everyone recognizes as bad. Today, we're gonna try to optimize it actually. We're gonna look at the math and see if we can harvest anything, and if we can't, well, end the video. Welcome to Pack Tactics, where we measure twice and cut once. So this cantrip is accessible to bards, sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards. The casting time is an action. It has a range of 30 feet and it requires concentration. Here's what it says. You point a finger at a target in range. Your magic grants you a brief insight into the target's defenses. On your next turn, you gain advantage on your first attack roll against the target, provided that this spell hasn't ended. But Kobold! Pack Tactics gives you advantage! And so does this. Therefore, it must be good. Well, first of all, let's look at this step by step. Let's say I'm a level 1 cleric. I got True Strike through a racial or a feat or whatever. And right now, I'm rocking a mace going into melee. Yes, I know this is not an optimized build, but we gotta look at the math first. I start combat surrounded by wolves, and I cast True Strike in round 1. Then in round 2, I whack them with my mace. Let's say I have +2 strength, so I roll 2d20s and keep the highest. I add my +2 for my strength and +2 for my proficiency bonus. If I miss, I don't deal damage. If I hit, I deal some damage. The alternative is I attack in round 1, roll 1d20, and add my bonuses, with the chance to deal some damage. Then in round 2, I do it again. Now I've rolled 2d20s just like in the case of casting True Strike. Now the question is, what is the difference? Well, in the case where I cast True Strike, there are basically two possible events. It's either I hit or I miss. A wolf has 11 AC, so Kobold, they have 13 AC! What? Oh no, I accidentally looked at the HP! It's okay, we'll just homebrew it to 11 AC to make our point. There are monsters in this game with 11 AC, it's okay. So here we go. If I want to hit with a +4 bonus, I need to roll at least a 7 with the d20. There is a 70% chance to roll a 7 or higher on a d20. If I have advantage, it's 91%. That's my chance to hit. Now, let's keep it really easy and not account for crits. It's sort of relevant, but in this example, we're gonna go really easy. Let's say we deal 5 damage on a hit. 91% of the time, we deal 5 damage. 9% of the time, we deal 0. So if we put this together, we get 4.55 damage on average. However, we do this damage after 2 rounds. Remember, we cast True Strike on the first round, and then finally attack at round 2. So if we want the damage per round, we need to divide the 4.55 by 2. So we get 2.27 DPR. That's True Strike. Now let's use it on the scary monsters of Drakenheim by the Dungeon Dudes. It's got over 300 pages of D&D 5e content with 150 murderous monsters. There's Lovecraftian monstrosities, mutated beasts, and spooky undead spanning from CR 1 to 30. Kill them and harvest them to create cool equipment that will make you better at murder. This crafting mechanic is so advanced that you can build entire player-driven adventures with this, combined with the deep lore of these horrifying monsters. Your players will lose their sanity in how good this is. Creating campaigns around monster hunting is super duper fun. I highly recommend it. To add even more stuff to this, there's also new deadly condition mechanics to spice up combat with new debuffs and elemental conditions. Like, dude! There's so much content from these dudes. There's Dungeons of Drakenheim that's on D&D Beyond. There's Sebastian Crow's guide being fulfilled. And now there's the Monster Book live on Kickstarter. I highly recommend you check it out, especially if you love Lovecraft stuff. Back to the video. So we did True Strike. Now let's do the case where we don't cast True Strike. There are 3 distinct events that can happen instead of 2. 1, I hit once and miss once. 2, I hit twice. And 3, I miss twice. Because I don't have advantage, I instead have a 70% chance to hit. So in case 1, there are 2 ways to hit once and miss once. We calculate the probability as follows. Again, there are 2 ways for this to occur, so we calculate like this. We are basically multiplying the chance to hit once. So 0.70 to the power of 1. By the chance to miss, 0.30 to the power of 1. And multiply that all by 2 because it can happen in 2 different ways. This happens 42% of the time. Calculating the chance to hit twice is easier. You know, we hit in round 1 and 2. We hit twice, so 0.70 to the power of 2. We miss 0 times, so 0.30 to the power of 1. We hit twice 49% of the time. And finally, we're at the missing twice. This happens only in one scenario. Here we get 9% of the time. Our average damage is 7. We hit once in the first scenario, twice in the second, and 0 times in the last. This is on average 7 damage across 2 rounds. Our DPR is then 7 divided by 2 equals 3.5. The reason for this is because we have a chance to hit twice. In the case of True Strike, the 42% chance to hit once and the 49% chance to hit twice, which sums up to 91%, only allows for 1 hit. That is objectively worse. Now, there are scenarios where this isn't as bad, of course. Like maybe the sorcerer uses Quicken Spell. But, well, using sorcery points on something like this is not a powerful choice, but it does actually give you a reason to use it, I guess. Another reason you might want to cast this is because you cannot attack in the first round, like you can't get into range. So here's something you can potentially do to optimize this. Round 1, I move so the enemy is within 30 feet of me, and I cast True Strike on them. Then I move backwards. Round 2, the enemy dashes to me. I'm now in melee and I have advantage. Now, I do recommend you pick up a range cantrip instead because you deal more damage. But you can do whatever you want with your character. It doesn't matter. And now we finally get into the most interesting option for True Strike. What if you want to cast Plane Shift offensively on someone? This requires an attack action and a 7th level spell slot. Here's what it says. You can use this spell to banish an unwilling creature to another plane. Choose a creature within your reach to make a melee spell attack against it. On a hit, the creature must make a charisma saving throw. If the creature fails to save, it is transported to a random location on the plane of existence you specify. A creature so transported must find its own way back to your current plane of existence. Now, this is a very fun way to banish people to hell, for example, but it's not really a strong option. But I do think this makes up for really good memes. It's just funny to banish people to hell. Overall, I don't think there's anything that makes True Strike worthwhile to use in an optimization sense. The only thing I can think of is memes. It is interesting to me that in 4th edition, Kobold, don't talk about 4th edition, it might scare our viewers. Oh yeah, trigger warning, I'm gonna talk about the big evil book. Ooh, spooky, scary. Kobold, you sound like me when you do that. Did you pick the actor feat? No, listen, I've been optimizing roleplay for years. I'm actually a power gamer in role-playing, so I could do all kinds of voices. Kobold, prove it. No, I'm nervous on video. Anyways, in 4th edition, the spell allows you to buff an ally's attack as a standard action, which is basically an action in 5e. You have to be close by an ally. It says the target gains a +4 bonus to its attack roll against an enemy before the end of your next turn. If your attacks are worse than your allies, then this is absolutely worth using. In the recent 1D&D playtest, they made True Strike instead allow you to deal more damage with weapons. It doesn't really match the previous mechanics, but it is a lot better than what it is now. What it's like in the new player's handbook is I have no idea. The book isn't out yet. But anyways, that's all I really wanted to say about the spell. End the video. Guys, this was a good video. Like and subscribe and stuff. Patreon! If you give Kobold money, I steal it, so it's technically my money. Anyways, I'm off to play soccer. Yay! Bye-bye.